Hey, what's up? This is Causing a Ruckus, and I am about to cause a ruckus. League of Legends, I'm going to start doing weekly recap videos of our league. Fun, fun, fun. I know you're all excited about it. Bullshit. But I do have some interesting numbers here. I've been recording our weekly IOP and IDP scores and been figuring out the ranks. I've done really good math. I've taken my time with numbers, so I can assure you all the numbers are basically perfectly calculated. If I miss something, it's probably just by a decimal. Not going to lie. I took some time with this. So here what I have is the weekly scores for your individual offensive players and your individual defensive players. We're always talking about IDPs. What about our IOPs? Okay. you know, like every single week, everybody's giving me shit that my IDPs suck. But you know what? I make up for it in points with my offense, and everybody's kind of the same way. Some people have more balanced teams, some people have lopsided teams, and actually, some of our teams are a lot better than uh, they actually look according to these rankings. And actually, some are worse than they look according to these rankings. But we're going to see which teams really are strong right now, which teams look strong going forward, and congratulate the people who are doing well and expose the people who are not doing well. So here we go. Let's get started. Okay. So here's the league page. So go John. John's team's actually looking really, really, really good right now through 4 weeks and going forward. And we'll dissect. I'll dissect every single team individually at the end here. Matt, your points force isn't normally what it is season, or season to season. You're normally way higher, and your points against are pretty weak. But once again, Matt and I have gone back and forth with our teams, and I'm actually going to show you why. Yeah, his offense is going to look way better going forward. He's got an elite IDP squad. There's no doubt about that. Some of these numbers really don't tell the truth. Stats don't lie, and to see that, you got to look at all the stats. So, his team's actually looking really solid. Brad's team is looking really solid. I'm kind of middle of the pack. I got a lot of long-term, upside with my team for sure. Some of these other teams I haven't looked at as in-depthly because it's always Brad, John, Matt, and I always talking smack with each other, but I want to take the time to look at all the other teams and give some other people some attention too, and respect where it's deserved. So let's look at my charts here. Okay, so this is the weekly scoring chart. So some highlights here. Brad, John, and Tommy are super consistent between their IDP and their ODP squads. If you see, I don't know if you can see my highlights. Okay, here we go. So if you look at Tommy, actually Tommy's kind of volatile. Like literally every other week, his team goes off. Look, week 1, 8th, 12th for IOP and IDP ranks, and then he goes first, and he goes 9th, 12th, and then he goes second, first. So I don't know. Maybe it's just when the Packers are playing, or maybe not playing. That's what determines how well his team does, because he's got like 5 Packers, as he always does. Well, that's fun. Whatever, that's cool. But no, he's got a lot of firepower on his team for sure. I mean, those high ranks are proof of something, right? Going to John here. John is just Mr. Consistent. Look at this. 3rd and 6th, week 1. IOP, IDP, IOP on top. 4th, 3rd, 5th, 2nd. There's really nothing about John's team right now that shows any weakness, really. Even if once we look at his roster, Brad, kind of same thing going on. 6th, 5th, 7th, 7th. Not super hot start, but then look, he's been killing it the last 2 weeks. 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th. Matt and I have really polarizing teams right now. I think everything that we've said to each other is pretty merited. His IDP squad is elite. Look, 1st, 5th, 1st, 3rd, Yeah, I mean, look how many points he's scoring every week. 70, 59, 70, 59 and a half. They're like identical. Or 70, 70 and a half, 59, 70 and a half, 59 and a half. So he barely, he basically puts 60, 60 to 70 points on average every week, which is a really high floor. There's no doubt about it. But like I keep saying, because I've been keeping track of it, he's definitely taken a lot of hits with his, offensive players for sure. And right now his defense is making up for it. And almost practically scoring more, if not close, to his offense. And that's crazy because offense is supposed to put up way more points in fantasy. It's just the nature of it, right? So like 80 points, 92 points, 59, 70, 78. So, um, you know, that's why he's bottom six right now, right, in the league in point sports. But if we look at my team, it's kind of opposite, right, Matt? Like, look, 34, 45, 34, 44. I've consistently put like bottom, third for the most part. I finally put up a sixth rank, which is interesting. And even my offense, 10th, and then third, fourth, sixth. So I'm kind of, probably middle of the road right now in the league in offense and bottom of the league in defense. But once again, there's other stats that kind of redeem some of these numbers we're looking at. If your numbers are low, your ranks are low. But then also, I think some of these ranks for some teams are, inflated as well. Brian, your ranks are pretty low, man. But we're gonna look at your team to see if your team is actually a lot better. Maybe you've taken a lot more injury hits than a lot of us are aware of. Yeah, let's go to the next chart because I haven't looked at everybody's teams enough to really know enough about them. The rankings tell us what we are right now, but that doesn't tell us necessarily what we're gonna be. Okay, so. Before I even get to this chart, this is the accumulative chart. So this actually shows you how many points you've accumulated on your IDP rosters and your IOP rosters after each week. So before, the other chart was each individual score, but now this is actually showing how many points you've scored on offense and how many points you've scored on defense through the current week. And I also created this other little chart just because I wanted to compare my IDP squads to Matt, Brad's, and John's. They have the best IDP squads, and I'll show you right here. So Matt currently after week 4 is number 3rd. John is 2nd, and Matt is 1st. Now, a lot of people give me a lot of shit for, building my defensive teams, through the waiver wires, or through the waiver wire. And the reason why I do that is because there's just too many usable players. And it's really hard to tell, if there really is a lot of separation between the so-called studs that you guys say and the rest of the guys. And I am still not convinced of it. I mean, if you guys want to dig up all the research and prove that, the only reason why, everybody's won their titles, like Brad and all your titles, it's because you're IDPs. I just don't believe it at all. I remember every single team that you've won the championship with, you always had loaded offensive roster. So, maybe you had a balanced team, but there's no doubt that you had studs on offense like crazy. So feel free to do that research if you want. I don't care. I'm focused on this year. But when I look at the game logs, when I look at your game logs, and when I look at mine, I don't see a lot of drop off there. Now, it's taken me 4 weeks to find some guys that are producing, but the guys that are producing on my current squad, not including the waiver pickup or the free agent pickups I just picked up this week, I picked up a couple. My current squad is actually, if I would have started that squad, just guys I got from the waiver wire, starting week 1 to now, if those players were actually rostered, this is the only point I'm trying to make here, if they were actually rostered, oh wow, I'm about to run out of time here. 20 seconds. Guess what? I'm gonna make this is gonna be to be continued. Okay, we'll do a part 2. But basically, if those players were rostered, they actually outscored Brad's and John's teams. that's kind of interesting. For being stud squads, you should have outscored my waiver wires, right? Peace out.